Hello everyone, this is Laurel with Laurel's Crafting with Laurel. We're going to be making coasters with rope and fabric. This is a coaster that I'm working on. I'm doing sets of 4. I have 2 with the leaf print, feather print, and then I'm doing 2 with the polka dots. I think this will be cute as a set. I'm going to make 1 more of these. I have my fabric right here. All you need is a 4-inch strip of fabric to make the center. But today I'm going to show you the beginning of making coasters. And I'm going to be cutting strips, just cutting strips. And we need some kind of cotton rope that's 3/16 inch. This one is from Walmart. You can find it in the hardware section. It has a filler on the inside. Let me see. Let me show you the filler. This one's open. It has a filler on the inside. Can you see it right there? Alright, so I usually just push it out. See how it'll come out? It has a cotton braid. So I just cut a little bit off each time I start, either a bowl or a coaster. Okay. I just unroll it right off of the little thing that the rope is on. And your strips, you do not have to be perfect. I like using an inch strip. It does not have to be exactly an inch. I just go along. It don't have to be perfect. That's the nice thing about making these bowls. Alright, so I just cut a strip. I have 3 strips now. It should be plenty. They don't have to be really long. I usually use fat quarters and just cut the long side of the fabric. You can cut them on biases. You can cut them 1.5 inches and fold it down. There's different ways. Alright, so here we go. All you need is a sewing machine that has a zigzag stitch. And fair warning, make sure you have plenty of bobbins ready. It will use up bobbins, especially bowls. Alright, so you're going to take the end. I like to take my thumbnail. We pushed it over the piece that we cut off. I take my thumbnail and start a curve. I hold it and then I turn it. You keep turning it till about the size of a nickel. You just hold it and turn it until you get about the size of a nickel. And then you can stick a pin in it. Stick a pin in it so you can let go. And you want your working side of your cord on the right side of your sewing machine. So you put it under the foot. You want to do this a straight stitch. You can do a cross, you can do an X. I like to do like a snowflake star shape. It connects all of my circles. Alright, the beginner, just take your time. Go slow. Alright, so I'm going to do 1 or 2 stitches and pull this pin out. Here, let me zoom in for you. There we go. So I'll hold it with my fingers on the side. So my working cord is on this side. This is called the working cord. So I'm going to hold it. Alright, go all the way to the end. Put your needle down. Turn it just a little bit. And now you want to back stitch. Go forward. I did turn it just a little bit. You want to turn it a little bit more. Let me cut these strings before I get too carried away. Now you want to back stitch. Stop. Go forward. I turned it just a little bit. I'm used to not putting the needle down, but for the newbies, put the needle down, lift your foot up, turn it. Now you want to back stitch. You want to do this about 6 times, or you can just, you know, do a T shape. Alright, I'm turning it. Back stitch. I am using serger thread because I do a lot of bowls. I use the big cone spool of thread. Now if you're going to do hot pads or something that has something hot on it, I would use excuse me, hot or cotton fabric, all cotton rope and cotton thread. Alright, so we're going to put your sewing machine on zigzag. You want your needle, here let me take my ink pen and show you. You want your needle to hit in the middle of each row of your rope. You want it to go right in the middle of the rope. Alright, so we're going to start zigzagging. You want to go slow so you can get the feel. Alright, once it goes around a couple times you can go a little bit faster, but if you're new at it, I would go slow. My sewing machine is a Baby Lock Proline. If you have an older sewing machine that has zigzag, the older sewing machines, when you're making bowls, you can get a nice straight side on your bowls. But we're making a coaster today. Alright, so now I can go a little bit faster. As you can see, I'm using my fingers and holding it with my thumb. Pretty easy. They're real fun to make. And you can get real creative using different techniques and using different fabrics. Ribbons. You can use yarn. You can use embroidery floss. All kind of cool stuff that you can do to these cute bowls and coasters. Alright, so I'm going to get this to about 3.5 inches. Let me measure. I keep a little ruler. So I want 3.5 inches. About 2 more rounds. I'm going to measure, just make sure. Alright, I'm at 3.5. I'm going to go a little bit more and measure again. I try to make it 3.5 all the way around. A little bit more. And perfect. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 stitch back. Just 2. 1, 2. when you do a whole lot of back stitching, it will show. I'm using a cream color, or not cream color, tan, light tan fabric. Sorry, y'all. I'm using a light tan thread. Alright, so we're going to wrap. We're going to do one whole round with wrapped fabric. So this is my strip. I like to put it on an angle. As you can see, I take my finger down, and the point you want right in the middle. Can you see that? The point goes right in the middle. You tuck it under, bring it over. You can go overhand or underhand. Just make sure it's on an angle the whole time. See, it's on an angle. Don't worry about the little threads. And you just keep wrapping. You can do it while it's still under the foot of the sewing machine. I usually like to take it off. Plus, I'm showing you guys. And if you like what I'm doing on the channel, make a comment, put a thumbs up, subscribe. The subscribe button is the little red button. And it doesn't cost anything. Everything's free. And you get to hang out with me. Alright, so I'm measuring, see how far I went. A little bit more. You see, that was just one strip. This was one strip of the fat quarter. Now, you don't have to use fabric from the store. You can use men's shirts, just scraps. Alright, let me see where we're at. And I went a little bit too far. See that? I went just a little bit too far. I'll unwrap it, put a pin in it, or one of these little wonder clips. Put that on there to hold it for you. Alright, so you want the working cord on the right. Here, I hope that was still in view. Alright. 3.5 inches. Zigzag. I didn't back stitch. I went past where I was zigzagging from before. Now I tend to use my finger. I put it up against the foot. That's to keep it nice and firm up against your rope that you already sewn. Strings out of the way. You see where I started the thread is about 1/4 inch here. Alright. Pretty easy. They make real nice gifts for family, friends. Alright, so I'm trying to meet up. Now I'm going to go around with just the plain rope. You don't have to. You can end at the part that you just wrapped. Unwrap some rope here. Alright. Not too hard. I've been making bowls and stuff for 4 years now. First thing I did was a coaster. Alright, this is what's left. Okay, I'm getting ready to stop. I'm going to put my needle down. I cut the rope about an inch back. Just take your scissors and cut it. Now, remember the filler inside. Can you see it? I pull the braided part of the rope, which is the cotton. I come in there and I just cut it back a little bit. And then you want to pull your cotton back over. Lift your foot up with the needle down. Now you want to make a little loop. And stick it as far as you can get it in that little crevice. Put your foot down. You can use crochet hook. You can use a knitting needle or one of those stilettos. I use a broken pair of scissors. All I'm doing is pushing up against like that under here. See that? Just keeping it nice and snug. Now you want to go back stitch. Now you want to do it again. You're going to have a little hole right there, so you want to push your rope up against. And now I'm going to move back, push up against that. Now my back stitch. Alright, we're done with that coaster. Let me show it to you up close. Let me zoom out. Here we are. You see how I got that rope in the corner there, in the crevice? This is the back side. These little strings you can trim off. Ta-da. Alright, so we're going to do one like the first one I showed you. See, wasn't that easy? Just take your time. I'm pushing out the filler again. I'm trimming it off. And you just push it back up. Alright, so you're going to take your thumbnail, roll it, and just turn. Get it about the size of a nickel. Y'all had to excuse my hands. I clean houses. Alright, now you put a pin in it. You want to flip it over. Working side on the right side of your sewing machine. Alright, unwrap some rope here. Right side, put it under my foot here. Alright, we're going to put it on straight stitch. Center my needle. Alright, go forward. Take that pin out. Oh, by the way, I'm using a jean needle. It's a bigger needle. Go to the last one, pick your foot up, turn it, back stitch, turn it, go forward, back stitch, forward, turn it, back stitch, forward, turn it. I do it about 6 or 7 times. I don't count. I just go with it. Alright, so now we want to turn it, get it in position to start zigzagging. My sewing machine doesn't have a number code. It just has the wider But just make sure your needle goes in the middle of each side here. Alright, let me zoom in. There we go. Now we're going to zigzag. Now this one we're going to make like the coaster I showed you a minute ago. The one with the feathers. Uh-oh, went off kilter. Same thing, you want to go 3.5 inches. And you also start the bowl the same way we're doing these coasters. So one of the videos coming up will be a bowl. I might show you how to make a bowl with a man's dress shirt. I bought a cute one from a thrift store, and they would make nice memory bowls too, if it was your dad or brother or grandfather or best friends. But you can, the striped dress shirts. And I'll show you how to do that in the next video. They do make nice memory bowls. I bought mine from the thrift store. They make really cool, like a wave swirl when you use the striped. Alright, this is what we're doing. The striped dress shirts. Alright, I'm right at 3.5. Alright, let's make sure. Getting close. Alright. Okay, that's perfect. 2 stitches back. Got my strings on. Now this, you want to trace. Alright, let me move that. Alright, you see the pieces of fabric that I use. Small pieces. I love other people's scraps. Alright, so this is the way we took it off the foot with the working cord on the right side. Uh-oh, let me zoom out. There we go. Working cord on the right side of your sewing machine, you want to flip it over. Now you want to lay your fabrics upside down. You want to lay your coaster on it, and you're going to take your ink pen. You're going to trace around it. Now you can use a pencil, you can use an ink pen, or one of those other pens. But you're going to be cutting. Okay, you want a scant. A scant is about 1/8 of an inch. Right, I think. You see that? You see where I traced it? It's just enough to fit between the ropes. So, if you have it bigger than that, it's going to come out the bottom. So you only want it a little bit. Same size as your rope. Now when I get close to the end part of the rope right here, I cut that right on the line. Oops, I got a little bit bigger than a scant. And there we go. And this is where the rope was hanging off. I like to do a little snip right there, like a little tail. Okay, I'm getting ready to show you what I do with that. Okay, now you can iron it or whatever you want to do. I don't use any kind of glue. You can use adhesive. Alright, you want to make sure your fabric is hanging off the edge, same all the way around. Alright, here's the little tail. Take and flip it under. This serves two purposes. You don't get the fray on top, and you can use that as a reference to how many rounds that you have gone around, especially with a bowl. Alright, we put it under the foot. Everything's still the same. I take my rope and I like slide it off the edge, and now I'm zigzag. I'm using my thumb to hold it in place. Alright, make sure everything is nice and tidy. Take your rope, slide it down. It gives it a nice, tight, crisp. Lift your rope up, make sure everything ain't moved. Slide it over. Up. Slide it over. Cut my strings off. Please like and comment. It helps me with the YouTube channel. And subscribe. And if you had a friend that you think might be interested in watching the video, you can share. Alright, so I'm going to cut my end of my rope about 1 inch. Cut it off. Now we're going to pull that filler out. Ta-da! And then just come in there and snip it off. I have my needle down. I don't know if you noticed that. Pull your rope back over the top. Now we're going to lift the foot up with the needle down. We're going to take and curl it under and push that end of the rope into the crevice. There we go. That's hard to see, but you know what I mean. Take your stiletto, your crochet hook, your knitting needle, whatever you want. Just push it up against. Don't poke under. Your needle will hit your scissor. And then you'll have to change your needle. Alright, back stitch. I'm going to do it again. If you don't push it right there, you'll have a little opening. So I take and press. And now I want to press up against the side. You can make bigger loops if you want. Don't matter. It's your coaster. Alright, let me zoom back out. I was out the whole time. Alright, here we go. There's the ending right there. And all we did was zigzag. Alright, so you see what I mean about just having a little bit of fabric. I take and pick it, push it up, and then I'll take my scissors. Just don't cut your sewing. Alright, I take my finger underneath and just push. Just get as close as I can without cutting. And leave a mess for your housekeeper too. Gotta leave some mess for your housekeeper. Alright, so did you notice on that pink coaster? See the difference? Can you see the difference? I did a little stitch right here. We're going to do what's called a stitch in the ditch. Alright, all we do when we're doing a stitch in the ditch, I turn it upside down. You're going to put your sewing machine on straight stitch. I like to start right here, close to the loop. And all you do is sew in the ditch. You're sewing over top of your zigzag. Does that make sense? We're following the line of the two pieces of rope. Here, let me zoom in. Let me see if I can get you right here. Hold on. There we go. So your needle is going to go in between your rope. I do one round. Go slow, because sometimes it's hard to see. Alright, let me get this string out of the way. Alright, all you're doing is your needle's going down in the crack. Ta-da! I'm only doing one round. Cut my string and I'll show it to you up close. Alright. See it? You just, all we did was stitch right in the ditch, the crevice. Oh, ain't that pretty? Here's the one with the pretty cool, y'all. And this is the one we did in the beginning. Can you see how the thread goes in the middle of the rope? This is one row. Alright, let me zoom out. Ta-da! So we did this one with just wrapping one row of rope. And we did this one. I call this a centerpiece. And this is called Stitch in the Ditch. Alright, so hope you enjoyed the video. I do all kinds of crafts, so if you enjoy doing different kinds of crafts, let me know. Make a comment. And I make all kind of bowls, rope bowls. This is one of my bowls. This is wrapped with fabric. That's the bottom. This is for the back of a toilet tank to put toilet paper in. Alright, y'all. It was fun hanging out with y'all, but make sure you put a thumbs up and hit that red button if you hadn't subscribed. It doesn't cost a thing. It just helps me get through the YouTube channel. Alright, looky there. I got a whole set. I like doing that as a set. Alright, y'all. Give me a thumbs up. And say hi if you're from my group on Facebook. Alright, peace. Love y'all.